Today we are going to be doing a reaction for the second episode of Gypsy Rose Life After Lockup Season 2. This is the episode where we get to see what happens with the hairbrush. If you all watched the video that I did where I was looking at the sneak peek of the whole Season 2 that came out before the show aired last Monday, we saw like a brief moment where they talked about the hairbrush, but there is a sneak peek for the next episode that goes into that even further, and we're going to be watching that today. If you haven't seen it, like, whoa. Now, I want to say this before I get into this. I just did a reaction to the very first episode. If you have not seen it, I'm going to link my Gypsy Rose playlist down below. I had some choice words for Ken, okay? And I can tell by this sneak peek, I'm going to have a lot more things to say. I do not like this man, okay? Ryan, I felt was controlling, and I felt like he had his own set of issues. I mean, he wrote Gypsy Rose Blanchard in prison, so he's gonna have something wrong with him. But Ken, I feel like Ken is way worse than we thought, just based on what I've seen from him. I had a lot to say about him in my previous video, and judging by the brief snippet I've seen of the sneak peek, I'm gonna have even more to say, and I am so looking forward to this episode. So before we get into it, if you want to check out any of my other Gypsy Rose videos, I did a full reaction to every single episode of Season 1. We've talked about some things that have occurred in her TikTok lives and just behind the scenes stuff that's gone on since the show was on a little bit of a pause. And so if you guys would like to watch any of that Gypsy Rose drama and get caught up, I'll have that playlist linked down below, and make sure you subscribe, because next week I'm going to be doing a reaction to this episode that we're about to watch the sneak peek for. But we're going to watch this together. Let me know if you've seen it. Have you seen the sneak peek? This preview is called Your House or Mine, and we know it's going to be Ken's house, because what we learned from the first episode of Season 2 is that Gypsy always has to go to Ken. Ken never goes where Gypsy's staying. He never goes and stays there because he doesn't like the size of her bed. He doesn't like the size of her bed so much, he doesn't want to spend any time with her at all other than the 2 days out of the week she's going to be at his house. We already know the answer to this question. It's going to be Ken's house.
We're packing up. The movers come tomorrow, and all major furniture will be moved.
So they're in the process of packing because they're moving in a 2,000 square foot house that Ken looked at Gypsy directly in the eyes and said, "Are you going to be able to keep up with that? The house that you're going to be at only for 48 hours of an entire week, are you going to be able to keep everything clean even though I eat, sleep, and fart here too?" Okay.
I don't like clutter. I also don't like hoarding.
So we also learned that from the first season, when she was with Ryan, she expressed that she would get really stressed out by hoarding because of her mom. Now, whether you like Gypsy or don't, that makes sense to me. We could see from the photos of the house that there definitely was a hoarding issue, and you know, whether you like or not, when you grow up with somebody who hoards, they have it a mess like that, it can cause this, you know, to be something that you have an issue with as you get older. It can be really triggering to be around clutter. So we did learn that, like, she was throwing away like full things of Tupperware of Ryan's when he was at work, like the whole thing you could just wash out. She was like, "I'm not even dealing with that thing, I'm just throwing that whole thing away."
It's always good to find the brush of an ex-girlfriend.
In that clip, okay, she finds a hairbrush. This is a woman's hairbrush or somebody that has long hair, okay? This is not a hairbrush for a man that is balding. This is a hairbrush for someone with long hair.
I'm just sick of finding things all the dang time.
Like what? Not only does she find this hairbrush while it is being filmed, while she's being filmed, she pulls it out. Not only that, but she says, "I'm so sick of finding things all the damn time." Meaning this is not the first thing that she has found of another woman in Ken's house. You're finding stuff from another woman in his house, and every time you find it, he's saying it's from his ex-girlfriend. How do you know that? And why would you believe anything this man says? Okay.
Old pictures and old greeting cards, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay, so she's saying that she finds old pictures and old greeting cards, and I'm like, is that it? I feel like if you're gonna have your girlfriend that's pregnant with your baby come stay in your house, you should probably do like a deep clean of all your ex's stuff. You know what I mean? Like, if you are literally too full of yourself and too lazy that you are, and selfish to the point that you are incapable of splitting the time equally and at least spending 2 days out of the week at her place, the very least you could do is get rid of your ex-girlfriend's shit. You know what I mean? Like, this man is a dog. Okay, he should be in a doghouse out in the backyard, not in a 2,000 square foot house.
Hey, and look at what we have here. The hairbrush of an ex-girlfriend.
He's like, no, watch what he says right here. Watch this.
That's actually mine. That's
With
mine.
blonde hair.
Whatever.
Listen, guys, listen. Out of everything we've seen on this show, this man and all of the scenes with him make me more irritated than anything that I've seen in this entire show. This man who is balding, he tries to say, when he's got no hair up there, that is mine. That is my hairbrush. This dude signed up to be on a reality television show. He signed that contract with his hand, with full confidence that we weren't going to see what a piece of crap he is. Like, what did he think that we were going to have to say about him? I mean, I feel like maybe that check had to have been really, really good if he was going to subject himself to all of our opinions on the internet, because what the hell is this? Okay, unless you're wearing a blonde wig when Gypsy isn't there, then why would you say that that is your hairbrush? Why would you say that? I mean, it would make so much more sense to say, that is my ex-girlfriend. I'm sorry. I'm a dirty man and I have not cleaned underneath my sink for years and years and years. I am so disturbed by that. I'm so disturbed by that. And he looks like he's like, oh, you can tell when somebody's really mad when they're like, whatever, and they go to take a drink out of something. He's not even thirsty. He's just delaying and trying to make it look like he's busy. He has nothing to say. That is so, maybe it is his.
It's just, no one wants to keep being reminded that he was in another relationship while I was crying my eyes out at night. He was happy with her.
I feel like that's pretty valid. I mean, it's pretty valid. I don't know why she has to be faking it for the cameras when she's acting like she believes that he broke up with her in prison for her. I don't remember exactly, like, I'm just phrasing, he wanted her to have a better life or whatever, even though she was stuck in prison for more years to come. I feel like whether you like her or not, it's very fair that if you're in a relationship with somebody, you're not going to want to find stuff from the ex-girlfriend in their house. I don't know what's going on with this dude. I feel like I'm just shook. Like, I didn't really know what to think of him, apart from the fact that he reached out to Gypsy Rose after watching her crime documentary, and I always thought that was really disturbing. But seeing just the little things that I've seen of him, I'm just like, whoa, what in the world? He is so much more awful than I thought, and I'm so shook about it. Like, we all know what we think about her, but for real, I'm not saying that she needed to be with Ryan. I don't think she should be with any man that wrote her while she was in prison. I think that any dude that sent her a letter while she's in there, she has to realize is a red flag and a freaking weirdo. And I get it. She is too. She was the part of a murder of her mom. I mean, I'm not saying she doesn't have her things. It's like, this is the one right here, this guy. And the fact that these things are getting caught on camera. And you know what I've noticed too, just in watching the first episode and this little sneak peek? Like, they are so down for making each other look bad on camera. I noticed it with Gypsy Rose and Ryan. Like, she would try and make him look bad on camera in the first season. But I'm noticing that the both of them do it to each other. So if they break up, it is going to be so nasty. Those lives that they do and stuff, it's going to be nasty. If there's not an NDA or something, it's going to be messy hot central, because they're so ready to throw each other under the bus, and they're still together. Like, they're like sitting next to each other in the car, like going to check out their baby on an ultrasound picture, and they're just so ready to embarrass each other. And honestly, I'm all for her doing it to him, because he did it to her in the previous episode, like trying to make her look bad for not wanting to eat octopus, which who wants to eat octopus? You freaking weirdo. Like, why would you want to make somebody eat something they didn't want to eat? Somebody make that make sense to me. That is just so weird. Like, what is this power trip thing? I was on Ryan's case so bad for being controlling in the previous episode. But it appears that Gypsy has a theme of attracting people who want to control somebody. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Like, these two men wrote her from watching a documentary about a mom, you know, controlling her daughter's life, right? And forcing her to be in a wheelchair and need her. That's the documentary they were watching about Gypsy. And then both of these men just so happen to be controlling. Like, who would have thought? What a big old surprise. Like, somebody had some sick and twisted fantasies. Let me tell you what. Both of them trying to act like, well, Ryan said he reached out to Gypsy because he thought she was cute, but Ken has to be like, it wasn't because I thought she was cute and I wanted to get with her or nothing. I just reached out to her because I wanted to let her know there's people out here who are on your side. Also, I'm going to just lean over the table and kiss you when I'm not supposed to the first time we meet and get kicked out for 6 months and get you in trouble. This dude is a freak. He is a freak. You guys definitely need to subscribe to my channel because we're going to be watching every single episode and reacting. Well, not watching the whole thing, but I'm going to be reacting to clips and talking about them over here on this channel. So if you want somebody to talk about the Gypsy Rose tea with, you definitely need to subscribe because we have a lot more videos coming. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all soon for another one.